Back in Australia, our saltwater crocodile has found a place that has everything he's looking for. Underwater, there are large fish, and on the surface, there are plenty of magpie geese, occasional mammals that approach the water to drink, and other saltwater crocodiles, one of which could become his mate. Its size protects it from the other males of its species, but that doesn't mean he's safe. There are livestock on the land by the river, and that means that somewhere nearby there are men, his only real enemies. The relationship between men and crocodiles has always been a mix of reverential fear and hate. Men have feared the dragons that devour them in the rivers since the beginning of our species. Even today, the crocodile is venerated by certain ancient peoples. Along the Sepik River, the so-called crocodile men consider them gods. As part of the initiation into their religion, the crocodile men summon the large reptiles with water drums and cover their bodies with scars that imitate the croc's scales. In Africa, some towns, like Paga in Ghana, sacrifice chickens to them. Initially, these men, fearful of the reptiles, began offering them birds in an attempt to placate their hunger and the anger of the god. But as time went by, the crocodiles, fed in this way for generations, have grown accustomed to the men and their livestock. It's a deal that actually turns out to be quite profitable for the locals. Chickens in exchange for leaving their goats and cows alone, and even more important, in exchange for never attacking human beings. But in most of the world, men kill crocodiles, whether to protect their livestock or to harvest their valuable hide. And that has pushed most crocodile species to the brink of extinction. But no one will attack our powerful saltwater crocodile. Without knowing it, he has swum so far upriver that he has entered Kakadu National Park, where the law and the park rangers are on the lookout to prevent anyone from killing the saltwater crocodiles. Without having to worry about any enemies, the crocodile concentrates on what he knows how to do best: looking for and hunting prey. In the Zapata Swamp, our Cuban crocodile has finally found a pool where the biggest males are no larger than he is. Many years ago, Cuban crocodiles were found in various parts of the Caribbean Sea, even as far away as the Bahamas. Today, they are only found here in Cuba, and their size has shrunk as much as their population has. Years ago, it wasn't unusual to find Cuban crocodiles as long as 5 meters or 16 feet. But today, none of them grow more than 3.5 meters, less than 12 feet. In his new pool, our crocodile may occasionally fight with his rivals, but given how evenly matched they will all think twice about it. After all, there are countless females in the swamp. His first attempts to approach a female aren't met with the desired results. has his first clashes with some of the other males. But finally, the new Don Juan finds a female that seems receptive and that no other male is courting. It looks like the new crocodile is going to be able to mate after all. Meanwhile, on Los Llanos in Venezuela, the season of scarcity has arrived. The dry season marks a period of shortages and death. The water gradually disappears, and with it, the sources of food and other resources. The animals now congregate around the last remaining pools, where thanks to the lack of water, it's much easier to catch fish. It's a real banquet, just before the food supply suddenly disappears. For the speckled caimans, the problem is dramatic. They need water in order to survive, and as Los Llanos slowly dry up, the caimans gradually gather in the last few pools left. Our protagonist watches as the number of caimans in her new pool grows. She knows this brings really serious trouble. There is less and less water every day, and more caimans devouring the limited supply of fish left in it. This increases the quarreling, fighting, and harassment. But that's not the worst of it. If the water or fish run out before the rains come, she'll have no choice but to look for another pool again. And that's almost like going out in search of the Grim Reaper. During the dry season, death spreads throughout Los Llanos, making no distinction between the species. Many of the spectacled caimans are left without food and water and have to search for new pools, leaving them exposed to hunger, the drought, and the heat. Hunger is the least of their problems. Their ability to gorge on huge prey and their slow digestion make it possible for crocodiles to go without eating for months. But the exposure to extreme temperatures can kill them. Like all reptiles, crocodiles regulate their temperature, and therefore their metabolism, according to the ambient temperature around them. When it's too hot, they open their enormous mouths to cool off, as if they were panting. And if the heat persists or increases, they just submerge themselves in the water. During the night, If the cold begins to slow down their metabolism, once again they usually slide into the water, because shallow water maintains the heat it has absorbed during the day. So they need water for more than just hunting and eating.